My name is Emily, and I'm a Boise State student, third year. It wasn't a great experience. It wasn't the worst, I'll say that much, but it wasn't great. I just feel like they weren't like as accommodating as I think they could have been, but in the aspect that like it was like they were trying too hard to accommodate too many people in one group versus like doing different accommodations for different people, which not that I like expected to like be personally accommodated for, but just like to group all of us into one is like just a lot, and it definitely got a little mixed up in there, and I definitely just didn't enjoy it as much as I was hoping to as a freshman. I have celiac, so it's like an autoimmune disease. So if I have like even the tiniest bit of gluten, it can make me sick for like days. So I need like literally no cross-contamination, like clean gluten-free food. Clean like gluten-free food that like is like safe for me to be eating daily, which they had, but it was also gluten-free, it was dairy-free, it was nut-free, soy-free, everything free, which meant that it wasn't really quite a meal at that point. I actually specifically remember on like my first night here, my roommates and I like walked over to the dining hall, and we were all so excited. It was like our first time like hanging out together, and like our first time like in the dining hall, and I remember going up to like the little like table area that they had for it was like, I think it was called like everything but or something like that, and they literally had like some spinach and some corn salsa, and like that was like it that like was edible at that point. They had like rice that didn't really taste cooked, so, but it was like nothing was seasoned. It was like, by corn salsa they meant they put some corn and chopped up tomatoes together and called it a salsa. Pretty disappointed, and also still hungry at the end of the day, so that was a bummer. Thankfully I had went grocery shopping with my parents before. I believe the meal plan was called the Trailblazer, so it gave me 12 meal swipes a week and then $600 in dining dollars each semester. So I had $600 in dining dollars for the semester, which I could use at like any of like the like, you know, Chick-fil-A, Subway, whatever, which not that I could eat at half of those places anyways. But it also worked for like the markets, so that was good. And then 12 meal swipes a week at like obviously Buster's Kitchen, and then that was the prices have definitely gone up. I think I paid like $2,500 for that for the entire year, so roughly $1,200 a semester. Because I had to. If you're like a freshman living on campus, they make you pay for a meal plan because they assume that you can't take care of yourself, and they have to assure the parents that you're gonna eat in some way. There was a dietitian, I'm forgetting her name now, that we got in touch with, and she was very sweet. She was super like trying to like accommodate, but I think at the end of the day, just like I wasn't like happy with like the first experiences that I had, and I wasn't really like willing to try again with them. She did mention that it was like a new kitchen and everything, so like I get that, but at the same time I feel like going into it, even if you're a new kitchen, you should kind of like be aware of like what the students need. So yeah. She did also offer, she said that if we wanted to like do some forms and stuff and like get like actual written like letter from the doctor that I like have an autoimmune disease that like I need to eat gluten-free for, she said then they can see about like reimbursing me like for the groceries that I was already paying for. But I'm like, at that point, why do I need to like go to a doctor and pay for them to basically write a note for me as an adult to say that like I can't eat gluten and that the meal swipes aren't working for me. I just stopped going to the dining hall. I mean, it was like on the other side of campus from me anyways, but I had like thought ahead about my dietary restrictions, and had gotten a dorm at the Subway Suites. So I had my own kitchen. I had like my own pots and pans and stuff. I had very specific roommate agreement that my roommates could not use my stuff because of how quickly gluten transfers literally everywhere throughout the kitchen. So it was really just like, at the end of the day, I was just like, yeah, so I ultimately just ended up buying my own groceries and cooking at home mostly. And then there's a Mediterranean place on campus in the ILC that is they have like gluten-free, most gluten-free things. So what was gluten-free, I would get a lot of like lunches from there since that's like right where most of my classes were from. And then other than that, I just like buy snacks from like the little, what is it called, markets, because I had snacks, which they've actually developed into having like actual meals now, so that's nice. I did have to pay more for the dorm with the kitchen. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe my dorm, I paid like $10,000 to live there, which I didn't really need, but I really wanted like the independence factor, you know, and thankfully I got a lot in financial aid, and I also got a scholarship from the school. So probably adding everything up, I'd say roughly like $13,000 to like live here and then eat here on campus. I just would like to see that there be an option for freshmen to not have to pay for a meal plan.